See, I feel like, okay, my chat know that I've got this weird like gap in my gaming kind of like resume where WoW existed for a lot of people and it doesn't exist for me. It just doesn't, there's nothing in that space. It's not like I was addicted to a different game. It's just I didn't play an MMO at that time, largely because of money concerns. I couldn't afford like a subscription or anything like that. So there's like a big chunk of like my gaming resume that's just like, you know, if I was having an interview, they're like, right, there's this gap. What were you doing then? I'm like, playing Morrowind, I guess. Likewise, I feel like I have that for PCs in a weird way, because like I always had like hand-me-down computers. So like, even though it was probably already old by computing standards at the time anyway, like my first proper computer, like when I could use it, because like we're not going to count when I was a tiny larval Aavak and I got given, like my family got given like a Sinclair ZX Spectrum, because I didn't know what the hell that was. I was just copying things out of a book and it made things happen on the screen. But when I got to the point where I was actually, you know, this is my computer and I am interested in enough in it that I'm going to learn stuff about it. That was a Commodore 64, but like they were already old. You know, my friends had like much more modern Amigas and stuff like that, and I had a C64, but like I learned how to write an assembly compiler for a C64. That was where I cut my teeth in terms of like the software side of computer and slightly the hardware, because I had to learn how all that worked. And it was kind of cool with the C64 because basically its ROM was not really ROM. You could just be like, you know this read-only memory? For right now, for this one time only until I turn you off and turn you on again, it's actually random access memory and I'm going to change things. Which was cool. But by the time I actually had the means to get myself a PC, that was way later. Like, you know, like first job kind of way later. And at that point, I skipped over loads of like old PCs. So the idea that you needed 2 graphics cards is legitimately like, I don't know why I wasn't aware that there was a time where that was a thing, but wow. It was the Banshee special thing. It wasn't as strong as the Voodoo 2, but it had built-in 2D. Crazy tech. Oh, this is actually super cool. All right, but for anyone who is wondering what the heck you're looking at, this game is from the 2010s. Well, originally, this is actually a much more recent remake or re-release. I feel like if I want to give a proper like chronology for this game, it's almost a book-worthy story in and of itself. But suffice it to say, the original game, Kingdoms of Amalur, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, was meant to be an MMO. That didn't pan out. Company retooled, made it a single-player game. We have Salvatore doing the writing, basically bankrupted the studio. IP was taken up by, was it Rhode Island inherited the IP due to like, you know, bankruptcy. And they held on for it for ages until it became too expensive for them to hold on to. They didn't know what to do with it. So it moved around, shimmied all over the place, eventually fell into the hands of THQ, who then did a re-reckoning re-release, brought up to speed, changed a couple of things in it. It very much still has its MMO DNA from where it was initially expected to be an MMO, very much kind of woven into it, especially the art style is very recognizable of the time. And the way you kind of move around the world. But the re-reckoning has taken out some of them very out of place MMO kind of mechanics that that whilst it had been retooled for single player, didn't quite fit, such as zone level gating and stuff like that. And I'm currently playing through one, I think it was the first DLC that was ever released for the original, the Teeth of Naros DLC. There's also Dead Kell, and most recently, with the re-release, the re-reckoning, there's also Fatesworn. I've got all of them. We're basically playing through the whole game, all of the story. We're still relatively early on. I forget exactly what level I am. Let me quickly go and have a look. Be in stats. It might not be. Oh, there we are, 20. All the way to 21. So we're a baby. But we're currently in one of my favorite parts of the game. Just because, although I try to be fair and say, well, there are other areas that are prettier. There are other areas that have better level design. But this, taken as a whole package, personally, the Teeth of Naros is my favorite part of the game. So we came here relatively late. We've done a bit of a chunk here, gone through, done a bit of main story questing, pretty much all of the side quests, done an entire side factions quest line. The writing in this game is absolutely stellar. And probably, in my opinion, it would be one of the main selling points for this as an RPG. The writing is absolutely wonderful. But it's definitely got a certain aesthetic and feel to the game as well. So if you enjoyed like playing MMOs and gaming around the 2010s, this definitely has that aesthetic in spades. As you can see, we've just completed this dungeon, so it looks very empty and a little bit anemic of content right now, but we will be jumping back out in a moment. Sorry to be so off topic, but I'm watching your VODs on the Stationeers playthrough, and I have a question about your Atmos room. Sure, go ahead, Dead Ghost. Specifically, why 2 ice crushers? Wouldn't one be enough for the ices, as water ice is the only liquid one, so no chance to contaminate the water supply? Well, the reason why I prefer to have 2 ice crushers is just, it's more of a protection against any accidents happening effectively. By having although you are correct, I don't strictly need 2 ice crushers. I'd like to just keep them separate in the same way that you could, for example, and I know some people do, and I have in the past, made 1 ice crusher purely for volatiles, because a volatiles ice only has volatiles in it. So you could have that ice crusher directly connected to the volatiles tank, and as long as you only ever put volatiles in there, you don't need to put any pressure on the filter. But I like to have the waste tank, just deal with all gases, and the water tank just deal with water. But sometimes, it makes sense to put the volatiles one in there. You may have noticed that occasionally I make sure there's no oxides in the waste tank, that I haven't just put oxide or nitrice into the waste ice crusher before I put volatiles in. I make sure it's completely drained of that before I put the volatiles in, just to make sure there aren't any accidents that might happen. No, and a normal operation, it shouldn't be possible for that to cause a boom, but I would just prefer not to risk it. I very well might, when we build the new base and the forever Atmos, set it up correctly so that it has, have a lot more room in there, and have a dedicated volatiles ice crusher, dedicated water ice crusher, and then just everything else ice crusher, because pretty much everything else has multiple types of things it produces. But the sort of things that having a dedicated water ice crusher protect against is, if, for some reason there was a power outage when ice had been put through the ice crusher, the waste ice crusher, like water ice. I'd just put in there. But I also had other things in the pipes, just gases, but there was a power outage for some reason. The ice crusher would turn off. The ice crusher will not evacuate its pipes when that happens, but the ice crusher will still be losing heat to its environment. It is possible that, you know, as long as that there may come a time that there was low enough pressure or low enough temperatures for something like night ice to liquefy. It doesn't take much to cause N2O to liquefy, and then you'd have N2O in your water supply. Kind of sucks. It's not impossible to fix, but it's just a pain to fix, you know. So yeah, it's just an abundance of caution. Absolutely not necessary though. 100% optional. If you want to go like for efficiency, or perhaps you've got a tighter space, or maybe there's energy concerns, one ice crusher is all you need. I'm just, you know, taking advantage of the fact I have enough extra space and I have an abundance of energy so I can run multiple. Revelation says, fell asleep to an Aavak stream, woke up to the same Aavak stream. Welcome back. Right. Okay. We have done, honestly, a big chunk of a dungeon. I actually enjoyed that dungeon. Okay, so Kilgore, and indeed Wasted, actually. Wasted, you strike me as a person who probably have some experience with the Dungeon Siege games, and I am certain that Kilgore does, if you guys are still around. And this to everyone else in chat as well. For anyone who played the original Dungeon Siege, do you recall the multiplayer map for the original Dungeon Siege? And specifically the I think it was called the Maze of Despair. That dungeon gives me vibes of that. A little bit. Like, the Maze of Despair was intentionally so convoluted to be awful. And, like, the devs had, like, signs going down this massive spiral pit you'd have to walk down to gain access to it. Literally saying, don't go this way. It's awful. Nothing will be worth what you go through to get to the end of this. Turn back, you know, kind of the whole labyrinth, like Talking Heads thing, but actually meant it. And the thing was, is after you'd spent hours getting through this bloody maze and getting to the other side and getting the paltry reward, which was actually a good reward, but nowhere near worth the time that you'd invested in order to get it. You just had to laugh because it's like, they warned you. They straight up told you, don't do this. It's not worth it. I loved it. You had to laugh. Like, it was such a good it was honestly such a good play, because you played yourself, and even though you were frustrated at the end, you had to kind of chuckle because it was like, yeah, I should have just listened to him. Why did I think I knew better than the devs? Kilgore says, believe it or not, I only ever played the solo, so I'm not sure. Oh, it was I really enjoyed the multiplayer map. It had Souls-like vibes. In the you unlock, like, you could get everywhere from anywhere, and you kind of unlocked shortcuts and stuff. It was really cool.
Good day.
Good day.
Good to see you, beckoned.
What do I will do with the litanies?
Place them at the litany altar, and it will activate the magic of all the other litanies throughout the Teeth of Naros.
Dungeon Siege and Dungeon Siege Legends of Arana were my childhood drug. Never online, though.
Take care out here.
I played the first one, Lamb. The prayer scrolls you have gathered were meant to be placed here before they were scattered. Place the litanies. Okay. Yo. Okay.
Now that you have placed the litanies at the litany altar and activated their magic, any other litanies you may come across will be helpful to you. Here is one I found while you were searching for the 5 to place at the litany altar. Take it as a reward. Thank you for your help, Beckoned. Farewell, chosen one.
You did have something else to say, but I need to first pick that. No. Okay. No. Ah, I didn't mean to press that. I meant to go there and then immediately go up to the next layer. I need to find something I can scrap. Those will do. Litany to Athene. A blessing from the goddess. Use the litany will grant a blessing upon the reader, like the shrines of the Feylands. Oh, does it mean that I can just carry around these litanies with me? And I wonder if they're consumables. Let's see. Did it go into the consumables area? Because if so, yes, it is. Okay, that's kind of cool, though. Because those shrines to Athene give me a good amount of
the city is grand
health
when you are in it, but I enjoy the view of it from down here more.
That NPC voice actor sounds like Skyrim. Yes.
Majestic.
Yes.
You've restored the magic of the shrine. Now the patrols and I can finally make use of it. And you as well, of course.
Thank you.
Take care out here.
Can I interact with the shrine? No, I cannot. Okay, fine. All right, my bags are full to overflowing. I need to... We're going to head back up the road. I'm going to go and head up to Adilla. Salvage a bunch of the gear that I've got into their constituent bits and bobs. Hi. You need to be dead right now because you're going to be a problem for me if you do not stay dead. Ouch. That one is by far the most dangerous despite not having a weapon. Well, I mean, they do have a weapon. 2 meaty clubs on the end of their arms. But they can use magic with those meaty clubs, and the spear wielders do not. This game has absolutely gorgeous weapons, though you typically only have like 2, one your secondary and your primary. But I will showcase, like, this game has like move sets, almost like a fighting game, and you unlock more as you go. You've got hammers. They'll have like different kind of combo chains and different special moves. I'm using the chakram and the daggers, though I don't use the daggers a lot, I'll be honest. So they're more my stealth kill implement. I more or less have them just for that. Specifically, so I can do this. Only this game has a plethora of insta-kill animations. Some of them are really over the top, and some of them you're just like, wow, I don't know what you did to my character for them to disrespect you like this, but I'm sure you deserve it. Got bows. So you're going to see me using just basically the standard combo of my chakrams a lot, because frankly, they're very effective at what they do. But I do want to showcase that for those of you who might not be familiar with the game, there is a lot of choice when it comes to weapons in this. Some of them are absolutely fantastic. I'm not going to have enough room on my... No, I'm not. I am suffering the loot goblin curse of I've got too much gubbins and not enough places to put them. It is exceedingly upsetting. Thankfully, I have invested in a skill that allows me to get a small measure of money back from anything I destroy. I would like to junk you, but I cannot. It's fine. Whatever. We're right there. Let us go back up to the city. Break down all these gubbins, and then finally go to a shop and sell all my trash, my junk items that I can't break down.
What can I do?
That is too broad of a question for me to easily answer, Secundra. You're in a bit of a sticky situation.
Greetings.
And if you're wondering why all of the characters are massive compared to mine, this is just the area that we're in. These individuals evolved from hill giants, basically. And they've taken on a very regal,
I can help repair your
Greek
equipment.
kind of theme in this area. It's one of the reasons why I like it so much. Right, let's get through here. I'm going to break down most... Ooh, now that is a very nice chakram. Those utility sockets, 2 of them. No, I am going to break it down. I was really tempted to keep it, though. Not going to lie. How about you? And we keep those. Right, now I need to go to the trader and sell my gubbins. All of the excess gubbins. Hello.
I am sure you shall find something in my stock to your liking, Beckoned.
281,000 gold. I approve. Now, we were down in that dungeon and just out and about for quite some time, so there's a good chance that they will have restocked
I will be
on
here.
numerous items. So let's partake of this opportunity to purchase
My potions will allow
any
you to
random
fight
things
the
we would like.
battles your divine station requires, Beckoned.
I'm going to be honest, I'm probably going to have to restock the greater healing potions at some point. Right, since I'm absolutely garbage at gathering reagents right now because I have not skilled into
Be
it,
careful out there,
I will
Beckoned.
simply buy them. I will throw money at my problems
Welcome to the
until the
Idilla
problems
Market,
go away.
Beckoned. Can I interest you in a freshly honed weapon?
Electrifying. Nothing jumping out at me here. And these are nice weapons, to be fair. But all I'd be doing is paying hundreds of thousands just to break it down.
Fare you well, Beckoned.
Thank you. Now, what did I add my skill to? It was blacksmithing. So I can now technically craft with gems. I don't have the sort of gem I would need for a staff. Nor do I have the sorts of gems I would need for a chakram, sadly. I want to just have a quick look at what I would be putting... Oh, wow. Master charge held. That's very nice. I just want to see what kind of gems. Oh, right. It'll be weapon gems. Okay. But then again, why not with chakrams then? Is it perhaps that they... Is there some sort of knack to knowing what gems can be inserted?
Prepare
Also,
your equipment.
I did accidentally trash the pants that I was holding on to, didn't I? Yes, I did. So let's craft some new rogue pants if I've got the materials for it. Got the troll hide brace. I mean, I don't block. I barely ever use my shield, so that it would be wasted. Course hair. Maybe just the Master Sage bindings. I mean, I could really lean into the mana. Use the greater mystic grips, but I don't think that would really help me. Mana regen per second wouldn't be a bad one. Gem of coagulation and gem of protection. I don't think we want to. I think I am going to need better options there. But chat, if anyone has played this and has and remembers, what governs which gems go into crafting which weapons? Is it just the effect the gem has? Or, because I would have assumed that a weapon gem would go into any type of weapon, but clearly not, because some of them I couldn't make.
What is it?
Oh, Darkest Order says for the chakrams, the gem has to be a utility gem. Right, okay. Noted. I wonder why. Oh, maybe it's the... Because I couldn't do it for the scepter or the staff. Maybe magic items need a utility gem, whereas more traditional, like melee items, weapons, sorry, require just a weapon gem. That would probably make sense. Can you create health regen per second through crafting? Yep. Yep. Right now I've got 2 rings. Sorry, actually, no, not 2 rings, but a ring, which is giving me health regen, I think. Oh, no, I took it off. So, yeah, I probably do want to make sure that I get that. Right now, I am favoring the experience bonuses where I can. Because, duh. But you can absolutely make health and mana regen. I don't use much mana though. Mostly I have sustained abilities and occasionally I summon an ally. But by and large, I mostly focus on... Oh, is there a new troll? There is a new troll. Huh. I don't mind if I do. Ouch. I should have dodged a little bit later. Uh-oh. Because I have a twin roll fate, so I'm both finesse and sorcery, my dodge roll has been changed into a dodge blink. And not only that, it is a poison blink. So I think you can get just a teleport. Oh, my timing was a little bit off there. A teleport dodge with just being focused on the sorcery aspect. I always forget the backhand. But because I've also got finesse, my teleport has become a poison teleport. So where I land applies poison. Though I'm already using sustained spells to empower all of my attacks with poison. I do not have many large healing potions. I really should fix that. We'll see if I can pull off. I don't know if I can though. If I had like max level sneak, I would probably be able to get across that area before they realized I was there, which is silly, but if you're pumping all of your levels into a sneak ability, you basically get to the point of otherworldly levels of subterfuge. Eventually, I'm going to hand in all of these Marauder tokens. No, I did not mean to go through. I meant to collect what was on the ground. There we go. Find a healing potion. I will take it. Right. Onwards and upwards. Oh no, that's Anakatos, I believe. Hang tight there, Anakatos. I just need to grab a little bit more reagents, so one day when I stop dragging my feet with leveling up my alchemy, I can make some good potions.
We are here. That is good. I feel hope stirring in my veins once more. It is the prospect of reconciliation that has granted me a second youth. Come. We must kill the alphas of each Eyrie. With their veins in hand, we shall fulfill the gods' wishes.
Very well.
The Pteryx Eyries lie in the wilds of the teeth of Naros, to the south of the city. We need not look far to find what we seek. But while there are many lesser Pteryx here, we seek only the plumage of their strongest and brightest. These are the true challenge. We must act.
Noted.
Feel my wrath!
The chakram is a particularly nice weapon because it's a medium range crowd control. It's
Feel
some
Balin's
fantastic
embrace!
movesets for really controlling an engagement. Oh, damn it, he moved out of range. That's at the end.
Come. Thus we begin. And as we harvest these trophies, you shall learn the journey the Colossi have taken to get here. Once we were but savages, no better than the other giant kin. We were called Myru, and to that identity we were chained until one day Athene spoke to us. She spoke of a destiny and greatness that was not ours but could be. She showed us the path of ascension, and we followed it here to the teeth of Naros.
Your people are not from here?
No, we are far from the homeland of our ancestors. Undoubtedly the gods wished us to renounce our savage history. It was necessary. Though the Jotun and Etin once regarded us as kin, they grew jealous of us, of the strength we gained from the gods' favor. Tensions rose to war. It was a sign from Athene to my people to seek a new homeland, where the bounty of her wisdom could be harvested eternally. Very well, Beckoned.
Alright, well, let's gather a little bit more. But rather than investing initially in things
Feel
like...
Balin's embrace!
Really, you're already in the fight. Things like stealth, I invested quite heavily in Detect Hidden, which is why I can see all the treasure chests on the minimap and the heading, the facing of enemies and such. Did you get knocked over?
Feel Balan's embrace.
That's gonna hurt. Alright, you know what? Reckoning mode. So this game has a theme of predestination in a sense. The world is fated. There are fate weavers. We're making it deep throat a great sword again. This is especially shown with the Fae, who kind of exist in cycles of death and rebirth and reliving the same destiny over and over. Fate weavers can kind of see your weave. Think kind of Wheel of Time, a tapestry, and your part in it, your threads of your fate. We kind of got yoinked out of the natural order of things. We died, and as a human, we're one of the mortal races. Usually that's permanent for us. But our soul was snatched from the place the souls go to before the place that they go to after that place permanently. And a new body was made for us in something called the Well of Souls as a part of a big experiment, because the mortal races are at war with the Fae, who are immortal and thus have a certain rather serious advantage in the war, in that when they die, they get back up. And when the mortal races die, they don't. But whether because of that, as a side effect or something else, our place in the tapestry of fate doesn't exist. It's kind of, there's a conspicuous hole where our place should be, which, in the words of the first Fate Weaver we talked to, means that our fate is undecided. We have the power and the potential to be whatever we want to. The gods don't have a plan, or if they did, we have the means to move against that plan, which is kind of out of the norm for this world. What you just saw there was, after a certain amount of charge up from fights, I can enter something called Reckoning mode. In which case, when I would otherwise kill something, instead it gets KO'd if it's a medium to large sized creature, and you see like tendrils weaving off it. That is its fate being unwoven gradually, and then the final finisher move, when I perform that, will maximize the kind of quick time event will multiply how much experience I get from the thing I finished, but everything else which was in that kind of unweaving mode, because I'd previously knocked them down. And that is literally my character unweaving them out of fate. Like, the place that they had in the tapestry of fate, my character kind of unspooled the thread and changed what they were predestined to do. In the words of one of the other Fate Weavers, who kind of said, like, you've got a ridiculous power that shouldn't exist, but is also incalculably dangerous, because, and this was in relation to us killing something which was meant to kill him. Like, he knew that he was going to die in a certain place and was trying to avoid having to go there, because he knew when he went there, that was going to be it for him. But things transpired to make that the only available path. And when we killed the troll that would otherwise, or I think it might have been an Etin, that would otherwise have killed him, it was a mix of, I'm glad I'm not dead, but also, do you have any idea what you've just done? You deleted everything he was, but everything he would be. There are things he will not go on to do, children of his that he will not have, that will never live, and the things that they would have gone on to do will now not happen. And one of the things being he was going to die. And at a later point, it was actually quite funny because we found him in a bar, like having this really awkward conversation with someone because he couldn't pay his tab. And it was like, I was never meant to live this long. I'd been racking up these debts at this bar for a lot because I knew I wasn't ever going to survive to the point where those debts would have been called in. But now, all of a sudden, I'm here. God damn it. It was quite funny. I did particularly like that moment. There we go.
We wandered the teeth of Naros in search of the homeland we were promised. And when hope seemed lost, we found the Hyperion. It was a divine artifact. No mortal hand could have crafted it, a massive stone, alone in the wilderness, with the image of a floating city engraved upon its surface. At the city's heart was the Hyperion itself. We knew then Athene was tasking us to craft this wondrous city, to form a covenant. But we betrayed that ideal.
In terms of the immortals that are fighting it, it seems that things are going in weird directions right now because we're at war specifically with the Tuatha Deon, a rebel faction within the Unseelie, the Winter Fae. The leader of the Tuatha Deon, Gadflow, killed the king of the Winter Court, and again, the Fae kind of exist in cycles. They relive the same events over and over. So when something changes, that's a big thing, and it has led to other changes. Whether we have this kind of thing that's going on with us as a consequence of being plucked out of the natural cycle of death and rebirth and all of that, or whether we are a symptom of a greater malady that is affecting the world, it isn't clear in the story. And while I know I'm approaching this from a perspective of not spoiling big story things for anyone in chat who's kind of following along for the first time. So it isn't so much that a war between the mortals and immortals was fated. Something's changed. Now, whether that change was fated, as you asked, isn't entirely clear, but it seems that the natural order and the pattern has changed in a way that it shouldn't have. And specifically, the Tuatha Deon are an extremely aggressive Fae rebel faction, and they're the ones that have waged war. Gadflow basically killed the king of the Winter Court. They have more or less taken over the Winter Fae, and now they're leading a war against the mortal races. Sounding talking about new, yeah, like this cycle is new things, like gaining a Winter Fae waifu. How dare you question my methods? Rude.
To test our worthiness, the gods have strewn throughout Amalur riddles, puzzles, and challenges. Answering them demonstrates our greatness. The Hyperion is one such challenge, perhaps the greatest of them. And though we discovered it years before, we still do not have the answer. We must act.
We must. But I must first get Gubbins. Why is Gubbins locked away from me? My sadness is incalculable. I can see Gubbins and I cannot access Gubbins. Wait, Gubbins is above me. Okay, I forgive. I suspect that is above me Gubbins, which is very different. Oh, cool. Fast travel location. Lock. What's going on down there, I wonder? Whatever it is, too far away for me to see. Litany to Lyria. Blessing the goddess Lyria. Using this litany will grant blessing upon the reader like the shrines of the Feylands. Well, I will take. Wait for me! Also,
Feel Balin's embrace.
hello.
Feel Balin's embrace.
Dude, why do you suck so much?
Feel my wrath.
I think Yorza is doing a better job than you are. Hello? Rude of you to decide to crash this party.
Feel Balin's embrace. Come. Circlet must be built.
It must. First, I must loot.
In the end, the city rose, but the Hyperion did not follow. The heart of the city remained unmoved. That we could not abide. My predecessor, Arche, sought to force the Hyperion up, but the Hyperion rejected him, killing him and his followers, and sealed itself away. Our work here is concluded. As a show of thanks, take these. The Pteryx are mighty, and their hides light but strong. These will serve you well. It is a riddle carved of stone that the gods left for us. It shows a city of the clouds, with the Hyperion itself floating at its heart. It was a covenant the gods wished to form with us, to raise Idylla and the Hyperion with it. But the riddle is difficult, and we have no answer for it.
Very well.
The cipher you carry is a conduit to the gods, to their wisdom, their judgment, and their power. You carry it, and thus you are their intermediary. Since you will bear witness to the ritual of atonement, the gods will as well.
Fair.
I must make the gods see that my people can be redeemed for the faults of Arches. With the wreath in hand, I can conduct a ritual of atonement. As you bear the cipher, the conduit to the gods, you will bear witness. Come, we must conduct this ceremony at the site of our original transgression. Let us go to the Hyperion.
What exactly is the Ritual of Atonement?
This is not a ritual in a traditional sense. Never have we fallen so far. Never have we needed such an act of conviction. We must go to the Hyperion, which lies beneath the city of Idylla. It is the site of our great sin, and to be the site of our great absolution.
Will the ritual work?
If it will not, then why were you brought to me? To give pretense to salvation? To raise our hopes, only to crush them with failure? I know the gods of my forerunners. They would not flaunt the answer to their riddles without sharing it. Now come. The Hyperion awaits.
Gotcha. Don't question whether that will work. Now... we came from that direction, but I want to go in this direction. Oh, wait, no. That is the wrong way. My bad. There we go. Really, just 2 health pots. Right. Geronimo! Dynamic turn 3. Now, our current quest, go to the Hyperion Temple. Or we can do a couple of side quests. And I fancy doing a couple of side quests, honestly. We're close to a level. I can hand that in first, then do Leaky Faucet with the water system under the city. Then going primal. Yeah, let's go do Labor of Love. I was going to have a chat about that fella's statue wife. Oh, okay. Wow, okay, nice. Already got Reckoning mode again. That was not too rough. Hello? Oh, you sneaky little devil, you. Look at this little place hidden away. Primal Feyblades. Now that will be very interesting because that may have the components I'm going to need to make a primal dagger, possibly. Ouch. Now we've got primal magic active. We're doing a load more damage. And done. Right. There, I think I'm just going to fast travel because we're a decent bit away. We could just go directly to Idilla, actually. Right, let's go find our Mason friend.
The beckoned has come.
Hello.
How goes the search for my Galatea? Any news of her yet?
I found a half-built
Yes.
statue.
And how was it? Was it unharmed?
What was that statue? I've only got a 21. It's 1 in 5. No, let's go. It seemed fine.
It was? Good. Good. At least I can sleep easier at night knowing my wife is safe. That will be all, Beckoned. Thank you for your help. My wife and I were separated when the city was razed. I believe her to still be in the teeth of Naros.
Persuasion up
I
again.
hope she is unharmed.
I feel... It
Goodbye.
sucks to lose out on conversation pieces because of the lack of it. And not knowing when those are going to come up sucks. I do have potions which would make me better at speaking, but you kind of need to know that a conversation is coming up in which you would take part, you'd need it, because it only lasts for a little bit of time.
And you return to me. I hope you are finding this work well suited to you.
I am. I have some totems.
Very well. I shall endeavor to reward you for your labors.
Not bad.
I pray you are finding the work suited to you, Beckoned. The task is small, but not insignificant. Be careful with them.
Right, there are no new contracts. Right, chat, I just noticed, looking down at my timer, I've got 7 minutes left. So we're not going to start another quest. Instead, I think that's going to be where we wrap up tonight's stream. We've been going for, actually coming up to like 9.25 hours, so we're a little bit over my timer really, but we made it to Idilla. We've done actually a fair bit of work in the Teeth and Narrows. We are a ways away from completing our work here though. Quite a ways away actually. And we've got lots of side quests as well. So not only are we a decent bit away from the conclusion of the main kind of story in Teeth of Narrows, but we've got a lot of things to do besides. Kilgore said, good, I'm off to bed myself. Oh, you take care, mate. Thank you so much again for dropping by. It was so kind of you. We have made some good headway in levels. We're almost level 21. We're not far away from our next level at all, and I strongly suspect I'm going to be putting all of the points here into sorcery. As far as my skills, I suspect, I mean, I'm honestly kind of leaning towards picking up persuasion again, at least getting up to sort of the advanced point. Getting dispelling up to this point would be useful as well, but we have no way of knowing. That's the thing. Dispelling and persuasion, you never really know if you're going to have dialogue options that involve them, but as far as I'm aware, you could have that for all of the skills, more or less. So it does come down to a little bit of foreknowledge of what kind of things are coming up. It's why I had persuasion and dispelling so high as I was going into the House of Ballads end quest line. But outside of a couple of places where I know there are going to be quest related opportunities to use persuasion, like the side quests, I often don't remember. Those kind of catch me off guard, if I'm perfectly honest. So I'm not entirely sure where we're going to put the next level point. I may go for persuasion though. It does feel like it would make sense. Maybe going for, I might even pull a point out of dispelling so I could put 2 points into persuasion. And then try and keep persuasion and dispelling more or less in the same place. Gradually building them up. I would very much like to get more points into stealth. But that, at this point, seems like a... it seems like that one's always getting the short end of the stick, really, when it comes to stat distribution. I always want to put points into it, but I very rarely prioritize it. I really should try and sort that out a little bit better. Right, in terms of our twists of fate, got the beckoned. That was actually working out quite well because we're doing a lot more damage in reckoning mode, which is wonderful. You follow the path with uncommon coolness and ease, rarely letting your situation suffer from extremes. You forever change the songs of old by choosing to write your own history and become the new ruler of the House of Ballads. Is because, as Silent Psychopath put it, we got a Winterfell waifu. So more damage fate plates. We don't use them, sadly. But 6% more mana and 3% chance to steal 5 health whenever we attack or kill, I guess. The Harbinger, preternaturally aware of the motions of fate, you not only alter the destinies of your slain enemies, but can absorb some of their experience as well. 2% XP gain when in Reckoning mode, which is kind of huge. In terms of lore stones, we're doing, okay. We're slowly building up. Now, we've got a couple. Where's the Teeth and Arrows? Down here. So we've got 2 of the 5 here. Once we've got all 5 of the lore stones, we will have plus 2% bleeding damage and plus 2% poison damage, which is actually kind of nice. Because we do poison on almost everything. And we may end up getting to the point that we also do quite a lot of bleed as well. We will see about that one. Still got a couple of lore stones to find around the place. Delantarth and Odorath. That'll give us 4% damage with melee versus humans, and this one will give us plus 8% poison resistance. We've got a decent amount of other benefits from finding all of the lore stones in the various areas, though. But nothing game breaking yet. We will see. But that will be it for me for now. Thank you very much for joining me, everyone. It has been an absolute pleasure. And I hope you are having a fantastic weekend. But until next time, take care.